Here we go again. Hello and welcome back to Outside the Box, the series of videos where I take things outside the box. Now I know last time I showed off a big ass box from the Big Bad Toy Store, but I'm actually not going to open it up yet because there's something I really need to get from one of these boxes. If you saw my last video of my custom of Shockwave, which by the way, if you haven't, I'll point you right up here, I did hint at my next project, which I still need to unbox. So let's get started, shall we? Now we are going to go from top to bottom, and I actually don't think it's going to be in here. It's going to be in one of these other boxes. Here, I know exactly what we have. Get over there. We have a Studio Series Shockwave. I know, I'm on a bit of a Shockwave kick here. There was something about completing a Seed Shockwave that I really wanted to get the Studio Series version, even though it's a core class. I really do love this design and I wanted to have it in my hands. I'm still hopeful that we'll get a properly sized Studio Series Shockwave from the Bumblebee movie in the future, but for now, I'll have to settle for this. All right, let's crack this guy open. Nice little instructions, great. And, ooh. He is such a nice little guy. Oh my God. And of course, I still have the ginormous YOLO Park model kit of Bumblebee movie Shockwave. No plans to do that one anytime soon though, but I would love to work on that guy too. There's no separate piece for the backdrop, which I guess this serves as that. I don't remember if the other Studio Series core class figures came with a separate backdrop piece. This one's obviously full of holes. Oh, I'm just noticing the bumblebees there. Nice. Very nice. Now, right off the bat, it feels a little bit loose, but the design is very good for being a core class. Good articulation, pretty much the standard of what you would expect. Shoulders and hips are ball joints, followed by regular hinges at the knees and elbows. Of course, there's going to be no wrist rotation. You wouldn't expect it here, but there's some very nice feet swivel due to the transformation, I take it. So this guy looks fantastic. An absolute spitting image of Shockwave from the Bumblebee movie. I do love that very much. What's also impressive is that the back of the figure looks, damn, very good too. Now, unfortunately, there is no light piping for the eyeball, which again, you wouldn't really expect that from a core class figure, but that painted eye still looks great. He does curiously have both of his hands, so the gun is a separate accessory that goes over this hand, so let's go ahead and grab that one. Now, it does have its own separate peg here in the bottom that has a bit of movement. I'm guessing maybe that's for the transformation, I'm not sure, but it's curious that it has that, and there we go. We've got him complete with his gun hand, which I always thought it was pretty ginormous in the movie, the way it was designed, but that's fine. It still looks great. And of course, being a core class, he's not going to have his hose, sadly. You wouldn't really expect it, but, you know, it is what it is. Overall, though, I love the detailing on this guy. You know, I'm really surprised that there's no kibble for the transformation at all. This really just looks like an articulated action figure, if anything. But let's transform him and see how that works. Oh, not as long as I thought it was gonna be. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Oh. Make sure it's nice and level. And holy shit, that transformation was very satisfying. There's some definite unique twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, and you definitely get a very unique Cybertronian tank mode. That is a very nice look for Shockwave. And it does have the added benefit of just being Cybertronian by design to begin with. So many of the parts that are designed for the robot mode, they don't really interfere with the tank look. Obviously, you can tell that the legs here are just right in the front, but still, it looks great. And there's even some articulation for the turret too. A lot of bigger tanks don't get that, so that's kind of a bonus. Plus the fact that the turret connects to the back of Shockwave's head means that it has side-to-side movement too. That's freaking awesome, man. Holy shit. Now, I don't typically get core class figures unless they fit in with the rest of the bots, like Rumble and that little bot that rhymes. What's his name? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Wheelie. How could I forget Wheelie, right? So would I ever go through the trouble of customizing and repainting this guy? Well, let's open up our next package, shall we? Here is the answer to that, which is gonna be yes. Come on. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, come on. You can do it. Interesting packaging here. This is coming, I think, from a vendor in China, and it is aftermarket parts for Core Class Shockwave. We of course get a very nice hose. That should be a very good addition to the figure. And some extra parts that I don't know if they're 3D printed. Let's see if we can find out. Oh, I like how they're all together in this tape, just so they're not all flying all over the place. That's very thoughtful. And they look extremely detailed too, but I do think they're 3D printed, but the prints themselves look extremely clean. That is very impressive work. Wow. Let's see if I can figure out how to add them to the figure. There's no real instructions. I'm sure there's a website that I can check on, but I'm guessing that this little back section of the hose is going to connect to this little flat slot here in the back. And I'm not going to insert it in all the way because I don't want this to be a one-way trip, but it does go in there pretty well. And I'm guessing the other end goes on this side where there's a little hole on the side of the gun, and yeah, it fits perfectly in there. Wow, look at that. That just completes the look right there. Oh my God. Very nice. Very nice indeed. And these other bits are just going to be, I'm guessing, part fillers. Okay, they're fitting in there pretty well. This last one though, I'm not sure where that one's going to go. Maybe the bottom of the weapon? I think so. Well, it fits. So let's see if I can give you a good shot of the legs. And you can see that there's two part fillers for the leg here. They're unfortunately not in the same color as the purple plastic, but if I was to repaint this guy, that wouldn't really be an issue. I mean, at the very least, it's no longer hollow. And here's the other leg. Looks very nice, very nicely detailed. Wow, I do like that. Look at that. And then this last one here, I'm guessing just for underneath the gun, it fits perfectly down there just to take away all of the hollowness. Very nice. Wow, these are very well made. Maybe one day I will work on this guy, but I think right now we've had enough Shockwave for the time being, so glad to have him though. Very good figure indeed. Okay, but that's one figure down. On to the next one. Now, I don't quite remember which box the figure we're expecting is in. I don't know if it's going to be in here. Yes, it is. Here we have Transformers Legacy Evolution Detritus, aka Sandy Beach Hound. Now, we're all waiting for the Target exclusive buzzworthy Bumblebee Hound to actually release. I don't even think it's been technically announced. That's still a leaked image what we have, right? I'm not even sure. But it's been forever since we saw that, and this guy is already out. So I figured what better project to work on next than to turn this guy into a proper hound. But let's crack him open. Yeah, I really had no intentions of picking this guy up since I'm not really familiar with this character, but now just realizing that we can just turn him into hound and not have to worry about the buzzworthy one. Target, you lost a sale, sorry. All right. Oh, right off the bat, I didn't realize he had a Decepticon symbol. I do know that this character is kind of on his own, like not really taking sides, really. Oh, crap. And he also has an Autobot symbol. Okay. So yeah, I guess he really is playing both sides. That's really interesting, though. All right. So first impressions, though, everything feels solid, good, tight joints. Nothing is loose. Well, maybe the hips a little bit. They feel fine though. Articulation is good. Rotation at the wrists. Hallelujah. Waist rotation. That's always good. Excellent side articulation for the feet. And of course the head can rotate. That's good. This, I think, is an excellent mold for an updated Hound. I do have the previous version of that I think was for Siege Hound. That one looks more like a Humvee, right? And I know that he's quite a bit bulkier for that version, but he still looks great. This one though is much more reminiscent of G1. Excellent, excellent mold. One detail though, I do like how on the back of the legs, he's got both tires on the back of each leg. I'm sure the transformation comes into play with that. We'll find out in a bit, but that's a very good look for robot mode. A little bit of hollowness for the inside of the leg though, but that's kind of minor. Doesn't really bother me too much since the wheels do a pretty good job of kind of blocking that view. I think what probably bothers me more though is the hollowness that we have on the inside of the thighs and of course on the inside of the arms. Even though it's kind of to be expected at this point, it always sucks when that happens. So we'll have to see if maybe there's a third-party or aftermarket kit available to fill them in. If not, some putty should take care of that without any issues. Yeah, this is gonna make a great Hound, which no surprise, it's supposed to be Hound. Let's take a look at these accessories though. He does have what I'm assuming is a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher with the the actual missile that comes detached. This, super hollow. I don't like this at all. Looks terrible. But the missile itself looks nice. Nothing too complicated as far as designs go. It almost looks like a bullet. But you put them together and you get this. This is going to have to be fixed though. I wouldn't want this look for the final customization. So we'll have to fill this in with quite a bit of putty. What sucks is that when we fill it in with putty though, I mean, it kind of leaves it looking a little bit flat. Maybe I can try to scribe in some details, but I don't know. It would take some doing for that though. And he does have his blaster. Very chunky blaster. Also pretty hollowish. But I like the design though. It's kind of unique. I don't know if it's reminiscent of how it looks in G1 though, but this looks pretty good. It would also need some work with putty to fill in the holes though. So let's crack these onto the guy. And he does have the peg holes on the top for the rocket launcher. Sadly, there wouldn't be any up and down articulation for the rocket launcher though. It of course can move from side to side, but nothing up and down though. But still, that looks great. Not bad at all. Man, I do dig that. Would rather see it in green though. Hey, let's check out the Jeep. Okay. Oh, it's also an interesting detail how on the box and the instructions, right on his name, he does carry both the Autobot and Decepticon symbols. So yeah, he's definitely playing both sides. It kind of sucks that there is a description kind of missing for him on the boxes. They do normally have that, but I don't know why they didn't include one for this figure. Oh, I see that there's an Evo Fusion gimmick included with the weapons. Let's check that out, I guess. You take out the missile, you basically turn this weapon around, and it can connect to the front of the pistol, like so. And now you have this. What the hell is this? I don't know. Evo Fusion! That's what that is. Gimmicks are good. Okay, wow, Jeep mode. Looks great. An overall pretty simple but effective transformation for this guy. It absolutely gets the job done. The back, a little bit lacking in the back, but what isn't these days, right? One of the things that's most surprising though is how the feet kind of fold in to these sections here, and the hollowness of the back of the figure kind of becomes the interior of the Jeep. Very interesting. This is also one section where I am kind of happy that they use a little bit of clear plastic for this window. It does kind of complete the whole look for the Jeep. Hopefully though, this won't give us any issues in the future. Of course, both weapons peg into the back as they should. Very nice. One of the major changes that they had to make from the design of the Jeep though is in the front. Those grille sections are horizontal instead of vertical as they are on Jeeps, and the headlights are definitely smaller inside of some other squares. Those things I think they had to change because they're really reminiscent of Jeep, and having those on here probably would have gotten them into trouble. But there's still no question about what this vehicle is supposed to be, and I think it looks fantastic. I do wish the arms could have been hidden a little bit better in the undercarriage though, but it's not a deal breaker. One thing I did do is rotate the fists so they're not facing the outside of the vehicle, they're on the inside. I think that helps just a little bit. Overall though, really good figure. I like it a lot. And I'm already looking forward to working on him next. Should be a great project, and I'm even thinking about where I'm gonna get some star decals. They shouldn't really be hard to find though. Worst case scenario, I can print my own, but I think I can find some aftermarket ones. Very nice indeed. All right, but on to the next box here. This is one of those weird boxes. I think you open it this way. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ah. Oh, here we have Studio Series 105 Autobot Mirage, coming at you from Rise of the Beasts. Oh wow, the box didn't survive a little bit. I don't think I just did that right now. Got a little bit of a tear here. I do notice how the image on the box, I don't know if that's like his battle mask look, but he definitely doesn't have his mouth. And I don't know if we saw him like that in the movie. Still looks very nice though. It could have been like a concept design at that point. I'm sure it went through countless changes, but it's interesting how the figure itself does have a face. Oh wow, and it has the Porsche official licensed product holographic sticker here on the back. That's how you know it's official. I do wish it was Jazz, but that's okay. Or maybe use a license towards a Masterpiece Jazz, right? I'm sure every deal has to be different. Here, let's open it like this. Huh. I'm not even gonna look at the backdrop. I don't really care for those, but I do need the instructions. There we go. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. There we go. Mirage really was the breakout star of the movie. I enjoyed him in every single scene that he was in. Pete David did a remarkable job in just bringing him to life. And the lines that he had were definitely funny. Good stuff. The figure, I don't know how I feel about this figure. I don't think it made the best impression when we first saw it. It definitely has a ton of kibble, right? And seeing him in person doesn't make it all the more better. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where they really could have benefited from having more time to zero in on the design, perhaps. Or it could also just be a mix of having the Porsche license, that they needed to have the vehicle mode look, what's the word? Flawless. And maybe because of that, the robot mode suffered. It doesn't look terrible, but it's definitely a big change from how he looks in the movie. He's got the entirety of the doors hanging off the sides. This top of the vehicle on the back, that's nothing new for Transformers, and it's not terrible. But the sections here for the legs and the feet, I mean, does he even have feet? I don't know what these things are. They're tiny, minute nubs sticking out towards the front of the bottom of the feet. So I guess that counts as a feet, I don't know. And then just very clearly having the back section of the Porsche here on the inside of the legs too. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Now, the part that's most, I don't want to say troublesome, but it's very interesting, is how the forearm for the figure, I don't know how well it comes up on camera, it's entirely clear plastic. I think that's because this section becomes the windows for the vehicle. We're gonna find out in a second. That's what it looks like. But man, I really wish that just would have been a solid plastic piece there instead of being clear. That is definitely unfortunate. And it does affect the look of the bot mode a bit too. One thing I will say though, that's a really good head sculpt. I mean, it captures the look of Mirage in the movie very well. That is not a bad head sculpt. I think I've seen some 3D printed designs though, floating online, if I'm not mistaken, that do a better job of capturing the look of the movie. I don't know if that's something that I would want to do myself in an eventual repaint. Although this, I don't know if I would want to repaint it. Maybe eventually, but I'm not sure. I think what I would be more looking forward to is that YOLO Park model kit that's going to be coming out hopefully soon. I mean, it's not an actual Transformer, it's just the figure itself. But because of that, it does a much better job of having a representation of Mirage from the movie. But with that said though, let's see the actual Porsche mode for the figure. I have a suspicious feeling it's going to look really good. Before I do that though, he does have a weapon. All right for weapons. Oh boy. Well, it had to happen, right? I can do this. I can do this. Okay, there is a hinge down at the bottom that I can't seem to figure out, or it doesn't want to rotate correctly. I'm sure it's me. I'm sure I'm the issue. All right, let's go to an expert, shall we?
He's the ultimate Transformers bro, Chacho.
I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but I will try my best to show it. But basically, we're extending his waist out on these hinges in here, and then we have to basically bend his crotch down on this hinge.
Okay, all right. There we go. Yeah. And there you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now that is Oof! A gorgeous looking Porsche. Oh my God. Wow. I love every single detail about this. Excellent molding. Excellent paintwork. Look at that. Oh, that is so beautiful. It does look just a little bit panely here in the front due to the transformation, but overall, it does a good job of giving us a very clean looking auto mode. And that's basically the reason why there's so much kibble in bot mode to give us such a good looking vehicle. And you know what? I hated every single step of that transformation. Now that hinge that you have to fold in the bottom, the instructions are not very clear as to what it is exactly that you have to do. Thankfully, we have YouTubers like Emgo. Thank you, Emgo. I don't think I would have been able to figure that out without his video. Does having such a nice vehicle mode make that difficult transformation worth it? I'm gonna have to say no. I think, I'm not a designer of course, but I think there could have been a different transformation that could have been designed to give us a better looking bot mode and not make it so complicated too. Or not just complicated, but difficult to figure out. And also, like I mentioned before, having the entirety of the arms be clear is for the door windows here, but there's nothing interesting to see on the inside though other than robot kibble. I do wish instead that all of those clear sections were done in just regular plastic and put in like a nice sky blue or maybe like a darker silver for the windows. That I think would have looked much better. But it is funny though, in a figure like the Detritus, having that little window for the front of the Jeep is kind of essential, and it does help the overall look of the figure. It is still at a hinge though, so it could be problematic in the future. But for something like this, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. But having said all that, the vehicle does look great. And one other thing I'm gonna point out as well, if you can see it on camera, is the very minuscule Autobot symbol right there in the front of the Porsche. The detailing on that is phenomenal. I would not have expected to have that on the vehicle as well. Very nice job on that. But overall, I don't know how I feel about this. A very problematic transformation to get to a very nice looking figure. I don't know which one comes ahead, but I think once you actually do figure it out, it's obviously not going to be as big of an issue. So I may just have to transform it just a few more times to get the hang of it, and I may feel better about it in the future. I don't know. But for now, I'm glad it's done. Okay, last box. And you know what? I'm tired. We're gonna save this for next time, and I still have the Big Bad Toy Store box as well. But right now I'm getting hungry, or rather hangry. I need to get a burger in me stat, so we'll come back to this one in a future video. But I'm also gonna be planning the review for Detritus, which I think overall, based on first impressions, I like this figure a lot. Please be excited for the future custom of this guy. Hopefully it'll be out within a month. I don't know, we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting the custom started on this guy. But hey, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you all very much. If you like what you saw, you can hit the like and subscribe down below. And you can follow me on the social medias. Links are down there as well. Plus, I'm also on Twitch, streaming on the weekends. But if you can't catch me live, I upload them to my second YouTube channel, Hobbies with Jose Gaming. Plus, you can also support the channel by going to the merch store too. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you all real soon. Adios!